yeah, so if you look here coming up, you're going to start to see some of our African elephants. Elephant, and he's got to stay seated on your lap, sir. You got to stay seated. For his safety, thank you. So, if you look to your left, you're going to start to see some of our African elephants. Elephants are the largest land animal alive. They can get to be about 7,000 pounds, 12 feet tall. You can see they're starting to give themselves some dust baths and stuff like that. And that is to kind of keep themselves cool, also to keep insects off of them, stuff like that. I would imagine it's pretty good for their skin too. But they do that using their prehensile trunk, which is an extension of their upper lip and nose. Prehensile meaning they can grab it. So elephants have 100,000 muscles in their trunk. That's more muscles than everybody has in the entire body. So that's pretty cool. So use them to pick up something as small as a dime or as big as a fallen tree. So for that reason, they're considered somewhat of a keystone species. That means that their survival is integral to the success of the ecosystem around them. They're very, very important. They kind of act like nature's bulldozers. They'll plow through the forest. They'll create habitats for other animals that want to live there. You know, knocking down trees and stuff like that. It's very important that we get around. So, if we look to some of our key they also have the black back and the white tail that you commonly associate with ostriches. They're the largest birds in the world. Ostriches can get to be about 8 feet tall, weigh about 300 pounds. They are very large. You can see some of our grand zebra there to the right, as well as some of our white rhinoceros. So the white rhinoceros over there, originally supposed to be called wide rhinoceros, but because of a mistranslation, we now call them white rhinoceros. And their horns are not actually true horns. That's because as long as the tip of their horn is still intact, they can't grow it back. Also, their horn is made out of something called keratin, or their horns rather. Same stuff that makes up our hair and nails. Also, rhinos don't have that good eyesight. They do have a pretty good sense of smell though. Oh, look at baby zebra right there. Right standing in the middle. Right there. So, the baby zebra is a little bit older than 2 months at this point, I think. But yeah, so, also, you can see someone was coming up. Crash as well. That is because they don't have very good eyesight. They do have a pretty good sense of smell though. And unfortunately, even though rhinos and elephants are not directly related, one thing they do have in common is poaching. So rhinos for their horns, elephants for their tusks, especially elephants. The elephant population has gone down from about 1.3 million to about 400,000 since the 1970s, which is very, very sad. That is why conservation is so important though. We want to keep these guys around. And that's why they're here, to teach you guys about the importance of conservation. And to give them a good home, basically.
It's a baby zebra.
Alright, so
and an ostrich.
If you look to the left as well, you can see some of our male ostriches. And also, sir, and she's going to be on the outside row. Sir, in the back. Excuse me, sir, if she's going to be on the outside row, she can't be on your lap. She's got to be in the middle, just because if we hit a bump, it's a safety concern. So yeah, thank you. Alright, so if you look to the left, you're going to start seeing some of our Asian water buffalo. So, Asian water buffalo, you might be asking what they're doing in the Africa section. That is because these guys are a water-dependent species. That means they do the so there's a whole lot of water, and this section has the most water. They live here with the zebras. Also, you can see a lot of our grand right as well. So grand zebra are more closely related to donkeys than they are horses. That is one of the reasons we haven't domesticated them, because they are very aggressive. But yeah, so also with zebras, they are actually black with white stripes, not the other way around. You can tell by their muzzle is black. You see an Asian water buffalo right there to your right, and also a male ostrich chilling out up there. You can tell because the black jacket and the white tail. Alright, and next, we are going to be heading into a lot of our and also a lot of our ostriches. Again, if you guys do have any questions throughout the tour, feel free to go ahead and raise your hand and let me know. I'm here to answer it to the best of my ability. So, also, coming up, I do see a ostrich. There's a male ostrich. So ostriches, eggs can get to be about 3 pounds. They're the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs. And they're so strong that if we were to stand on top of them, they most likely would not break. Ostriches? So, it really depends, honestly. I don't know what they eat. It's kind of like anything around, I feel like. Grass and stuff like that. But ostriches, actually, funny story about that. Ostriches don't actually have teeth. They'll swallow rocks. and that'll go into their digestive system. That'll chew the food for them. Those are called gastroliths. Gastro is in gastrointestinal, lith is in rock. That's
May mahaba yung sungay, ano?
so pretty cool. But
Ito makaba
so you're right. Those are some of our white bearded new as well as some of our basal oryx. The basal oryx over there to your right, they're the ones with like the kiss makeup going on. So also, basal oryx can raise their internal body temperature to about 116 degrees Fahrenheit. They do that so they don't have to sweat, because water retention is very important. They can also recycle their metabolic water so they don't have to drink for up to 2 weeks if they don't want to. Some of our ellipsis water bug there, right, as well as a peacock. So ellipsis water bugs, I'll call that because they have this round-like shape on their bottom, kind of looks like they sat on like a painted toilet seat. They will secrete a substance that makes them waterproof and will also deter predators and attract mates. Pretty cool. You can see a peacock there, kind of near the ellipsis water bug. They're originally from India. Their feathers come out of their back and not their tail. Also, the peacocks are called, well, the males are called peacocks, the females are called peahens, and the species is called peacow. That ostrich thing, though, I would look that up because I have no clue. I would say probably plain, but yeah, don't quote me on that. So I don't know. So that's a great question. Look that up what they eat. But yeah, so next we are heading up to our giraffes, and I'd just like to remind everybody too, New Jersey is a no-touch state. You cannot touch or feed the giraffes under any circumstance. Please do not do that. It is a
We're doing safari.
It is a $2,000 fine if you touch it, and it is a $5,000 fine if you feed it. So do not do that. All right. Here they come. So they're allowed to touch you. You're not allowed to touch them.
Oh, they're allowed to touch us. We're not allowed to touch us.
Don't do it. No, it's not going to take your phone. It might just come up and sniff you. But they're very, very curious. All right. Oh, it saw the truck and was like, nope. All right. So if you look to your right, you just start to see some of our articulated giraffes. Giraffes are the tallest land animal alive. The males can get to 18 feet tall. The females can get to be about 16 feet tall. Also, you can see those little bony protuberances on top of their head. They get bigger in the males than they do the females. They're called ossicones. Yeah, so you can see that white purple tongue. It is prehensile. That means they can grab stuff with it. And does anybody know why giraffes' tongues are purple? Anybody want to take a guess? Huh? No, tongues are purple. That's a good answer. I've heard that before. So it's actually so that they don't get sunburned.
Hello, AP, the Stick Figure Grand Plan 2024.
Grabbing leaves off the trees. So very important.
Welcome to
Europe. They were brought over as a game species to North America, but we saw
This is located in Six Flags, and we're doing
So the males have the antlers, the females do not. And also,
please subscribe for more
antlers.
videos.
That's because when they stick out like this, they look like your palm.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so next we're going to
I hope you're enjoying the live.
Resort and Spa. You're going to be seeing all of our Sonata Sunset Resort Spas. Go to your right. So to see right here, so basically every night that you stay here, you will get your own, so you will get your own room, TV, air conditioning, all that stuff. You also get to wake up next to animals outside of your window every morning. And every night that you stay, you will get to feed the giraffes as well, which is not public access anymore, so.
So
you
this
can't
is
like walk
the
around like on the ground
cottage.
floor here.
Here is
They will
safari
like shuttle you
and
around in like little cars though, so you can go feed the
It's
giraffes, you can feed the
500 per
elephants. You can just go and like check stuff out. But yeah, super cool. Also, if you look to your left, you're gonna see some of our red and collie cattle. So, red and collie cattle, their horns can span about 6 feet. They are actually hollow though. That has to do with temperature regulation. You got a question? I have no clue. That is a very good question. I would look on the website for that. Probably a lot. But yeah, so next we're heading up to our Serengeti grasslands. Here you're going to be seeing a lot of our ostriches and also a lot of our antelopes. You're going to be noticing a theme that the ostriches are kind of everywhere. They kind of have free roam of like half of the safari.
Ito, nandun.
And you can see an ostrich right there. And also an addax right there. So, addax are originally responsible for the myth of the unicorn, actually. That is because their horns are very symmetrical. So symmetrical, in fact, when we first saw them from the side, we thought they only had one horn. So that's where the myth of the unicorn comes from. Yeah.
Yung iba daw, isa lang yung horn
Yeah,
nila.
unicorns with 2 horns exist. So bicorns, or minor horns, I don't know how that works.
Itong cute na ito.
So those guys, the white colored antelope are addax. Those guys to your left, the small ones, are black buck. So black buck, I'm going to be talking about a little bit later as we get to the Asia section. We have a massive herd of them there. So I'm going to get into those guys a little bit later. You can also see some of our sable antelope here to the left as well, kind of past all these addax. So you see they're the ones kind of like at the end of the habitat. Sable antelope will not back down from a fight, even from a lion. They'll use those curved horns almost like a shovel. If a predator is charging them, they'll flip them right on their back. Also, sable antelope are born this like light, tannish color, and they get to be this darker color as they age. The white spots on their face will also get a little bit more prominent. Addax also, unfortunately, are critically endangered. The unicorn guys. There's only believed to be there's like less than 90 addax left in the wild at this point, which is very, very sad. We do have several hundred of them in captive breeding programs across the world, so we are trying to get those numbers up as quickly as humanly possible. They do need all the help that they can get. If you look to your right, you can see some of our white-tailed dew there to the right as well, black wildebeest. Not to be confused with the blue wildebeest or the white-bearded dew. Very confusing. But the white-tailed dew there to your right are a huge conservation success story. That is because for a while the entire population of them was centered on like 2 ranches in South Africa. But thanks to conservation, we've managed to raise their wild numbers up to about 18,000, which is very, very good. All right. So next as well, we are going to be heading into Kingsland. Here you're going to be seeing some of our African lions. The mountain goat looking guys there to your left as well, those guys are Udes. Again, we do have a massive herd of them later in the Asia section, so I'm going to be getting to those guys a little bit later. Oh man, alright, so you guys are in for something real cool. So, because our driver is awesome, we're going to be heading over the boat. So, this boat is the only unobstructed view you can get of lions on the entire East Coast. And for this part, it's really important that you keep your phone inside the vehicle. Because if it falls over the side, that's not good. Also, make sure that your lap child is on the inside, especially for this part. Alright, so we're going to be heading over the boat. Alright, so if you look to your left, you're going to start seeing some of our African lions. Look at these guys. Super cool. These guys, African lions are the only truly social species of cat. A group of lions is called a pride. And the way that you tell the difference between the males and the females is the males have that luxurious mane, the females do not. Also, the darker the mane, the older and more mature the male lion typically. The males are called lions, females are called lionesses, or the females are called lionesses. Also, these guys, typically the males will sleep between 18 and 20 hours a day on average. The females will sleep between 15 and 18 hours a day on average. They're kind of like regular house cats where they like kind of sleep a lot. Also, females are usually the ones who go out and hunt. They have about a 25% success rate, but they are the breadwinners nonetheless. So because of that 25% success rate, when lions do end up getting food, they tend to gorge themselves. They can eat about 40 pounds of food in a single sitting. Also, unfortunately with lions as well, their population has been declining a lot in recent years. There's only an estimated 20,000 lions left alive in the wild. That is because a lot of it is because of poaching, also because of farmers trying to defend their livestock. Usually because of general misinformation that's spread about lions, though. At least people to be afraid of them, so the population declined about 40% in the past few decades. But yeah, that's why conservation is so important. We want to keep these guys around. So if you look to the right, you're going to see one of our black bears. So now we're in Black Bear Ridge. You're going to see some of our black bears. Black bears are found in 49 of 50 U.S. states. Does anybody know which state black bears are not found in? You can just shout it out if you think you know it. They're not found in Hawaii.
Oh my God, ang laki!
No, they're not found in Hawaii. They're very, very good at swimming. They've not figured out how to cross the Pacific Ocean yet, so they're not found there. They're also very good at climbing, though. Oh, I see some cubs down there.
Meow!
Yep, you see the babies? Here we go. So, we have curved claws that helps them climb trees. Just like us. A little bit more difficult for them to climb trees, but they can do it anyway. You can see, here are some of the cubs here to your left. Some of my pair cubs. Oh, there he goes into the pool. There he goes. He's taking a dip.
He's just jumped in there.
It's kind of hot outside, so I don't blame him. But yeah, when they're fully grown, they get to be like 300 pounds. So pretty big animal-wise, not so big bear-wise. Actually, some of the smallest bears. But yeah.
Ate pa po kanya?
Here, I'll take care of it for you. There you go. No problem. So, also, black bears do come in 4 different colors. They can be black, brown, blonde, or cinnamon, which is a little confusing. You can find a brown black bear. They do exist. We don't have them here, but they are. But yeah, so, also, these guys do hibernate. They'll hibernate for around 6 months in the wild. He's kind of hiding under the stoop over there. So, while they're hibernating, their heart rate will go down from about 50 beats per minute to about 8. And they will not lose any muscle mass either because their muscles will subconsciously twitch while they're sleeping. Yeah, pretty cool. Also, if a mother black bear is pregnant, she still feels the need to hibernate. She can do one of 2 things. She can either wake up, give birth, and then go back to sleep. Her baby as well produces purring, humming noise, and that stimulates her to produce food while she's still sleeping. Or she can give birth while she's still sleeping. Wake up like 6 months later, like whose kids are these? Yeah, pretty cool. Now we're heading into the stretch in between black bear and brown bear as well. All right. If you look to your right, you're going to see a lot more of our Canada geese. A group of geese is called
a lot of
any baby
bears.
goose is called a gosling.
And also like lions and tigers.
You can also see some of our red lynchwing. So, and there is
over here.
It's a lot of duckweed. It's also a lot of goose feathers. So, that's because the geese like to go in there a lot. It's because there is duckweed. It's not algae. It's not harmful to them at all. So, duckweed is an aquatic plant they like to eat. The geese like to eat it. Yeah, the geese like to eat it. The bears like to swim in it. I would assume they like to eat it too because they are omnivorous. They eat both meat and plants. But yeah, they're all good. These are red lynchway down here right as well. So red lynchway are a little bit lopsided. Their back legs are longer and more muscular than their front legs. That helps them get through the marshy environment they like to live in a little bit easier. Unfortunately, red lynchway are facing a little bit of habitat loss.
Now
that is because we are building dams to getting rid of the marshy environment they like to live in, which is very, very sad. Their population is expected to decline about 24% in the next 19 years, which is very sad. But again, that is why conservation is so important. We want to keep these guys around. So, next we are going to be heading into Terra Ursus. Here you're going to be seeing some of our European brown bears. Terra Ursus quite literally translates into land of the bears. Yeah, you can see him hanging out. And just giving you guys a heads up, it doesn't kind of stinky in here. I'm just letting you know.
Nasa labas oh.
Yeah.
Ano chicken kilwal? Yeah?
You'd think I'd be nose blind to it at this point. I'm really not.
Okay, left side.
Are these grizzly
Yeah, so
bears?
coming up to your left, you're going to see some of our European brown bears.
Oh no, these are European brown.
But European brown bears are not grizzly bears. That is a common misconception. Yeah. So that's a scar. That was from years past. Bears kind of like to tussle with each other, everything like that. We do have a vet staff on call at all times, so rest assured he is getting the absolute best treatment that he possibly can get. But do not worry, their hide is a lot thicker than ours. Really, what you're seeing there is he just doesn't have hair there. That's literally it. It looks a lot worse than it actually is, I promise. But again, bears like to tussle, stuff like that. We appreciate your concern, but he is really okay, I promise. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be out here. But yeah, so these guys are not grizzly bears, common misconception. Grizzly bears are hundreds of pounds bigger. These guys are like 500 pounds. Also, these guys are native to North America, whereas grizzly bears are native to Eurasia. And these guys are not endangered per se. They are somewhat sparsely populated across Eurasia, which has signs it's a little bit concerning. They're okay for now, though, but you can see these guys here to your left. They're huge. Also, you can see they have kind of this muscly ridge in between their shoulders. You got a question? What's up? They can weigh from like 500 to 600 pounds, something like that. They're pretty big. Grizzly bears are bigger though. They're hundreds of more pounds than these guys. So yeah, so you can see them kind of hanging out there to your right as well. And also, you can see them chilling out in the lake over there. So, they do like to swim a lot. You can see them hanging out over there. Every once in a while, I'll see them put their head beneath the water and start blowing bubbles. Look at this guy. He's like a submarine. There he goes. They're very cute, but they are very good at swimming. But yeah, so also, Yeah, instead of having curved claws for climbing like black bears do, these guys have straight claws for digging. They like to dig holes a lot. They're a little less stocky than black bears. Their snouts and their muzzles are a little bit longer as well. Look to your left, you see some baby brown bear cubs. There they go. So the two of them are messing around, and that's mom supervising. I would assume so. I would assume basically just anatomically. It's kind of hard to tell. I know that that's mom up back there, though. And sorry, what was your question? Yes. Yeah. So not enough to hurt them, just enough to keep them in, basically, because we can't have them just kind of like walking around and stuff like that. But yeah, these guys they are also a little bit more aggressive than black bears, especially when cubs are involved. So again, that is why they are closed. But yeah, that is for their safety and ours. It's mostly ours, but yeah. So next, we are heading into our conservation area and bird sanctuary. You ready for it to get here, so the air quality got a little bit better. Also, the temperature dropped a little bit. So that is because we've entered our conservation area. So basically, when Six Flags purchased this plot of land, the state of New Jersey asked that we keep about 50 acres of it, of pure untouched New Jersey wetlands. So that's exactly what we did. Here you're going to find pretty difficult New Jersey wildlife. Like white-tailed deer I saw around the other day. It was kind of cool. All the time, I'm not quite sure why. Herons, cranes, other predatory birds like hawks and raptors. Toads, which are a sentinel species. I mean, if you hear toads in the water, you know the water quality is good because they want to stick around. Squirrels, snakes, foxes, all that kind of stuff. Also, America's only marsupial, the Virginia opossum. So keep that marsupial word in mind. It's going to come in handy in just a moment. Also, if you look to the right, you see a beaver dam. So, beavers keep growing their entire life. The way they keep them from growing too long is by chewing on trees a lot. Alright, and next we are heading to Didgeridoo Pass, so you're going to be seeing a lot of Australian animals.
We're entering the Didgeridoo Pass.
Remember I said keep the marsupial word in mind, it's going to come in handy in here. So unfortunately there are no turtles in here. We do have Aldabra tortoises at the Discovery Walkway and the park zone. If you'd like to check those guys out, they're very, very cool. Super, super big tortoises. But yeah.
Hindi nagsara.
Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna close the gate. That's why we have seatbelts. Except for me. Yeah, thank you. I do technically. I have a seat right here with a seatbelt. I just choose not to use it. Yeah, so you see some emus there, you're right. We're also going to be coming up on some kangaroos in just a moment. I see them right up here. Alright, so if you look to your right, you're going to start to see some of our kangaroos. They're coming up right here. So, they are marsupials. It means they care for their young in a pouch. Baby kangaroos are born about the size of your thumbnail, so like this big. They're blind and they're hairless, and they'll spend about 6 months in their mother's pouch before they are ready to enter the outside world. That is very, very important for their growth and development. But when they're born, they kind of look like a pink jelly bean, like they're very tiny. But yeah. Also, male kangaroos are called jacks. Female kangaroos are called jills. Baby kangaroos are called joeys. You can see some here to your right. You're right. So, kangaroos do kickbox, as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's usually the males. The males will kind of do that to get the attention of the female, all that stuff for dominance and stuff like that. But basically, the males will kind of lean back on their tail, kick forward with their 2 feet, and yeah. So, also with kangaroos. They have partially reinforced rib cages. That is to kind of take the blows a little bit easier from kickboxing. He's scratching an itch. I think it's a... Never mind, that's a she, I think. Yeah, because she's gray. So yeah, so the males are red, the females are gray. Males are typically bigger than the females. But yeah, so... You see some more kangaroos here to your right. Look at that male right there. You see how huge he is? Super muscular, too. Yeah, he's buff. Yeah, they also do punch when they kickbox. As they punch quite lightly, it kind of looks like this. But yeah, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea at all. Yeah. No, but you
Ito
can
naman,
see
nakisali dito,
one of our kangaroos
nagkikipagsuntok.
here to the left.
Akala niya ibon siya, oh.
Maybe it thinks it's a goose, I don't know. You're kind of hanging out over there. Oh, there's another kangaroo. All right, I thought there was only one. I don't know.
Dalawa
The
nga.
geese just kind of around the place. They're all over the place. Again, protected by the migratory bird act, so they hang out here, eat all the food. Not much we can do about them. They just kind of chill out.
Tapos na.
And they are Canada geese. They're not actually Canadian. They're native to John, Canada. We'll get back for you. So next, we're heading into Tigris Asiana. Here you're going to be seeing a lot of our tigers.
Uy, tigers naman, be. Favorite.
Bakit yung mga wild ang tinatago nito? Uy! Ayan pa naman yung...
Yeah, so again, that is duckweed. It's duckweed.
Tigers.
Duckweed's an aquatic plant. It doesn't look that great, but the geese like to eat it. It's not harmful to anything at all. It's just kind of there. Yeah, so you can also see that is our Bengal tiger right over there to your right. So, Bengal tigers are the only subspecies of tiger that can come in different colors. They can be golden tabby like she is. They can be black and white and orange like other subspecies of tigers. They can be black and white. And in very rare circumstances, they can be just white. Also, you might have noticed we had a lot of trees around this area wrapped as well. That is because tigers are a triple threat apex predator. They can run, they can swim, they can climb. They can do pretty much all of it. So that is why we have the trees wrapped for their safety and ours. Again, it is mostly ours. Yeah, they can also, tigers can also jump upwards of 10 feet in the air. I have heard 12. So, very, very athletic animal. Very muscular.
Ayan, ayan.
Awesome. Next, we're heading next to our Siberian tigers. Siberian tigers, typically when they give birth to cubs, they give birth to 1 to 2. The mother we had here gave birth to 5. So there are 5 Siberian tigers in this habitat here to your right. And Siberian tigers are the largest subspecies of tiger. And tigers are the largest species of cat in the world, and she can't switch seats during the night. She's got to stay up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just keep her there, keep her seatbelt on, stuff like that. Just for her safety. Thank you. Also, these guys to the right, they're typically, you see them messing around. Yeah. So they are siblings. Feel like now they're fine. It happens every once in a while. But typically these guys are not a very social cat species. They are very solitary. But because these guys were born and raised together, here to your right, they do share. Oh, that was sweet. Who kind of rubbing their faces on each other. That was nice. They're saying sorry. But they're siblings, so they're used to each other. So that's a rock in the lake over there. It's just a rock. I don't know why it looks like that. But yeah, so these guys to your left, they were not born and raised together, so they do not share the same habitat. So because of that, we do rotate them throughout the day. So all these guys to your left will get a turn in this big habitat here to your left. But also, tigers have eyesight that's about 6 times better than ours. They use that to see prey better, through the underbrush a little bit better. They also have partially red coats, and also swim through the water with relative ease. The tigers do also roar. They do also do this thing called chuffing. Chuffing is like a low-pitched colloquial purr. If you hear a tiger chuff, it's kind of say like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a tiger." If you hear a tiger roar, that's probably bad. But yeah, so also unfortunately with Siberian tigers, the Siberian tiger population has decreased a lot in recent years. There's only an estimated 360 Siberian tigers left alive in the world, which is very, very sad. But again, that's why conservation is so important. Siberian tigers are actually a part of our Save an Icon program this year, which I'm going to get into a little bit later this morning, tell you guys what you can do to help if you choose. So, next, we are heading into our Asia section. Here you're going to be seeing a lot of our Asian animals, kind of sticking with the same theme of our tigers. Speaking of, look to your right, you're going to see some of our nilgai. So nilgai are those very large Asian antelope, and they have these white bands around their feet, kind of looks like gym socks. It's one of the ways you can tell that they're a nilgai.
Antelope.
In their ears, so that's like a little like cattle tag. That's to kind of help us, like the word, yeah, like differentiate them. For the other ones, stuff like that. It's so the vets and stuff can take care of them better, differentiate them, stuff like that. Yeah, it's like a name tag. But yeah, so also with what was I gonna say? Nilgai. Oh yeah, so the nilgai population is exploding as of late because there's not enough tigers to kind of keep their population in check. So new are eating all the food all the other herbivores would normally eat in the wild, kind of throwing the whole ecosystem out of whack. But that's why it's very important we keep tigers around. They are
we
keystone
availed
species after all. That means that their survival
the pass,
is
season
kind of the
pass,
success of the
for
ecosystem
like
around them. They're
$75
keystone species
throughout
after
the
all, so
year and
it's
until
very
the
important
next
we keep
year,
them around.
2025.
Yeah. Have you guys been on it? In the cop? Oh, it's great.
Because
I
it's
love it.
better to get the season pass
Yeah, so you can see some of our Udads there right as well.
than the daily
So-
pass.
Udads, so Udads are more commonly referred to as Barbary sheep. They are more closely related to goats, though. So they're kind of like Africa's mountain goat. They have specialized pads on the bottom of their feet that let them climb at almost a 90-degree angle. Also, the males have bigger, thicker horns than the females do, and they also have a longer beard than the females do, which is called a dewlap. Their beard's called a dewlap. So you see some of our black bucks there to the left as well. This is the massive herd of them I was talking about earlier. I don't know. That might just be because I see two males. I think they're trying to
Now
intimidate each other.
we're
There are a lot
entering
of females
Baboon
around. They're just
Village.
doing like stupid guy stuff. But yeah, so black bucks, they're originally from Pakistan. They can run about 50 miles an hour, so they're very, very fast. And they're called black
See,
bucks
Baboon
because the more
Village.
testosterone they have, the darker their coat, also the longer
Like
their
where you
horns.
guys see
So the
all
ones you saw
the
earlier had a lot of
baboons.
testosterone. They had a very dark coat, very long horns. They're going to be finding the inside. How's it
Some
going?
animals.
Next, we're going to be heading into our baboon village. Here you're going to be seeing a lot of our baboons and also a lot of our yaks.
Like you see up there.
Oh, yeah, you see, there it goes. 450 feet in the air. 128 miles an hour, I think. Something like that. Oh, it's so great. I've been in front row, it's so good. You look to your right, you can see some of our yaks there to the right. So, yaks are originally from Asia. They are known as a beast of burden because we've domesticated them not only for their milk, but also because of their fur. There's only about 18,000 wild yaks. There are about 14 or 15 million of them, though, on ranches across the world, which just shows how animals can thrive under human care, just like they do here. So, very, very cool. Yep. It's like a jet engine. Go on the Harley Quinn one first. No, it's like a kiddie coaster. No,